Hey everybody, this is George here. I'm going to demonstrate how to operate the in-game lighting tweaker tool that's available on Avatar, and also show you a few things on the menu system that I've added. Right now the game is starting on it's during the attract mode is what's being run right now. That's the mode that runs when you just before you press the start game key. And I've set this up to when you press the special 1 key on your keyboard, it basically turns all of the inserts on the playfield on, and you rarely will ever see it like this in game. And it also, the rest of the lighting is set up exactly as what it would appear during a game. On the bottom left hand corner of the screen you can see the DMD on the bottom, and there's an overlay above it that has some instructions on it that I will go over with you. The game defaults to this dark night mode, which I think most people like the best, and you can change the light modes by just pressing the arrow right key like I just did here. The FP original is used for folks that have lower end PCs and cannot run the new renderer that is used on all the other options that you'll see here. You can arrow right again and you'll see the day mode. This is the dusk mode, night mode, and then we're back to the dark night mode. To show the parameters, you can arrow down, like the first one here is the gamma. Let me go back up, and let me go back over to the night mode, and we go down, and you can see there's a different set of gamma tweaks here that you can make. Those are all set to 1.9, and then you can let's go back to the dark night. And you can see that these are all set to 1.7. The tweaker starts up with the numbers all the same when you start the game. All 3 sets of numbers. The top number is what's saved to the internal memory of your PC. And we can raise that up or lower it. We can carry it to an extreme here, or make it a little too dark. You may decide you want to make the dark night mode a little bit darker, so we got it set to 1.4. The 1.4 is just saved to the internal memory now, and if I were to exit the game at this point, I would lose that and it would not save it. So if you want to keep the settings that you set up, you need to press the save key, which is the letter S on your keyboard, and there you can see that the 1.4 overwrote the 1.7. And now every time that you start the game, you're in the dark night mode, you will have your gamma set to 1.4 even when the tweaker is closed. And in fact, if I were to close the tweaker right now, you can see it just goes back to the attract mode, and then I bring it back, and you can see there it's still set to 1.4. And the default are the values that are saved inside the script. So if you wanted to change those, you would have to exit the game and then make some changes inside the script. The settings for those are up near the top, but there's really no need for you to change it because you're saving all your changes right here, and it would be easier that way. Suppose we wanted to tweak it a bit more and we decide, well, I don't really like that, I want to go back to the startup. So you can just press the U key, and that will go back to the startup key value. Or if you decide, well, I don't like that either, and we can go back to the default, and there you go, there's a 1.7 back in the default. Notice that doesn't save it. That just loads it into the internal memory, and if I could push save now if I wanted to keep that, but I don't really want to. I want to go back to the startup, and that's pretty much how those three options work. We'll go on down to the next parameter. You just push your arrow down key. The first playfield light inserts, there's three of them that you can adjust. We'll just bring this on up near the max, and you can see that the lights get much brighter. Notice that the area around the lights do not change their brightness at all, or very little. And we'll bring this down to maybe something like that. The inserts also have the glow radius, and you can increase that. When you get up higher, you can see that the area around the lights is brightened as well as the lights themselves. So let's just bring that back down to where it was. And we'll go with something like that. The playfield glow radius is the third lighting tweak on the light insert on the playfield. And you can brighten up the center of the light quite a bit, or you can bring it back down. And we'll probably go with something like that. GI brightness controls some flashers that I've added that control the general illumination, or we just abbreviate that as GI. And you can see that it brightens up the area around there. You can't actually see the light source on flashers, but we can adjust that. And let's kind of bring that down to somewhere around there. There's these bulbs that I call glow bulbs. They're the blue bulbs that you see shining through all of the plastics and the slingshots. And you can adjust the glow radius on those as well, and you can make them quite bright. And we'll bring it back down to something like that. There's another adjustment of the glow bulbs you can make that's called glow brightness, and you can make those brighter and darker, something like that. And then the final adjustment you can make is to another set of bulbs underneath the plastics, and you can turn those on up or turn them back down, and we'll leave that something like that. So we haven't let's kind of change that a little bit. We haven't saved since the beginning here, so let's go ahead and save. And you can see here that all these numbers that had been saved to the internal memory are now saved to startup. So all of these values all change whenever you press save. All of them get saved at the same time. But you notice here it's like this top one is 1.4. We'll go back over to the dark night, and you can see that is unchanged. So you can set up different lighting for each of the light modes. Let's go down to the bottom here, and these are the same options down here that you can adjust, that are like this option here to save everything to default. You can just, that does the exact same thing as the D key, and you can press right, and it will change everything back to the default, which you can see here. See, all those values are now back up to the default. And but I don't really want to keep them that way. I want to go to startup. So we press right on this startup option, which is just below the default, and we reset to the startup, and we can see here that now they're all set to startup. And then the final option down below is the same as the save key, and we can press the right or left key and it will save the settings. That's pretty much it for the lighting. We can turn that off, and you can see there that everything went back to the same as the attract mode on the original table. Now I want to show you here a little bit about the menu system. You press the special 2 key to open the menu, and you can read all that at some point when you play the table, but we just press the right or left flipper keys to change the menu options. So you can see here these are the same as the lighting modes, and the asterisk shows the currently selected light mode, and we can change that by just going through the different light modes. I think I'll keep that one the same. There's an option there where the plunger, you can actually see the plunger through an opening in the apron, and or you can have it covered up and have it display a graphic. Just so you can see it, I'll change that over to having the plunger visible. The HUD you can turn on or off. I'll leave that on. The video is something that appears on the table the whole game, so you can turn that on or off. Let's just go ahead and turn it off. Then there's a custom ball that you can change. Looks like the custom ball looks like what's on the left, which I believe is the default, and the silver ball, and you can just select one or the other just like that. I think I'll leave it set to custom ball. And then there's 3 or 5 balls per game, and I'll leave that the same as well. And then I can push the right key again, and I'll go back to the lighting modes. So you can save by just pressing the special 2 key, and then it exits the menu, and there you have it. Let's go ahead and start the game here. Look at all this fresh meat. Woo! And you can see the video has stopped, and we've got the custom ball, and we got 5 balls per game. So all the settings that we changed, they look like they're in good shape. And so let's go ahead and launch the ball. And I'm going to, while I'm playing here, I'm just going to press the menu key, which is the special 2, and I'll open that. Now you see here the menu covers up the entire screen, but there are a few menu options that are not there anymore. You can still see the dark night mode, the plunger, the HUD, video, and that's all that you can change here. The reason that you can't change the balls per game is because the Future Pinball simply doesn't allow it, and so I didn't allow that option. The changing of the custom ball, you will not be able, if I made that enabled during the game, the first ball would still be whatever is set currently, and if you were to change it, it would still keep that same ball throughout the first ball, and then when that drains, and the next ball will kick out, the new option that you selected. So instead of having that happen, I decided to eliminate it from the options on the menu. Now then, let's go ahead and return to the game here. And you can see here that the ball is back where it was. And that's basically it. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video, and Have fun playing Avatar.